Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
It's okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the night shift on your Friday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. If you do not have your copy of Brownstone Living Magazine, go over to your stories. Hey, Mixtress, Polaris, welcome once again. Lulu, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you all who are on all of the other platforms, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We got a lot of stuff to cover. And as always, we're going to get in here. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to be talking. So let other people know that we're here. Go ahead and like, comment, share. Let other folks know that we're here. Because it's going to be important tonight. We are going to be covering a lot of things that are happening right now. Hey, Billy, how are you? Good to see you this evening. Let's see. Hey, Julie. Listen, y'all. Listen. Grab your drinks. I don't care what you're drinking. Grab something. Yeah. You doing okay? Good. Grab your little drinky drink. You're going to need it. Even if it's just water. You from Oklahoma City? We might. 4,000 employees, federal employees were fired today, officially. Not furloughed, fired. Let go. All right. So, what? What are you doing? Nothing? Oh, God. Anyway. All right. So let's talk about that, shall we? 4,000. All right. There go the bots. Y'all getting started already. Okay. Bye. There you go. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. We appreciate you, though. See you tick tock, and you don't stop. 4,000. Well, not just 4,000. Over 4,000 employees, federal workers across 7 departments received layoff notices today. Not furloughs. I said layoffs. Hey, official Rob Anthony, how are you? Yeah. Yep. Well, this just dropped about 45 minutes ago. Yeah. So amid the government shutdown, the White House has said in a court filing, the revelation came out of a California lawsuit. I'm well, thank you for asking, brought out by unions representing federal employees, which preemptively sought a temporary court order blocking the terminations. Hundreds of thousands of government employees are currently furloughed, but it's not typical for workers to be permanently laid off during a shutdown. Hold on. If you didn't know, now you know. So, first of all, this has never happened. This is unprecedented. But we must remember that, and I talked about this earlier today as well, but this was the plan all along, y'all. I want y'all to understand this was the plan all along, to continue to trim the quote unquote fat. And Vogt, or Vought, however you pronounce his name, was right in the middle of this. Hold on just a minute. I'm messing with my kids, y'all. My son is looking at me like, what are you doing? I know, Kelly, it's such an, it's sometimes it's like an overused term, but my brain is, I'm so on 10 today with everything that is happening that sometimes I feel like I myself cannot even keep up. And as you can tell, I'm turning my head, so that means I got 2 monitors up. Okay. Because some of this stuff is just, it's so much. And so let's dig a little bit deeper and find out. Let's see. Because of course I'm gonna look it up further. And this is a lot. This is a lot. And what I want to know is who these people are. So it started about 7 hours ago, y'all. Okay. Oh yeah, not a problem. Because this is my nightclub. Because this is what I do. Okay. I don't kick it like that. I don't hang out. I'm too old, first of all. All right. So let's find out what departments these are that were impacted, because not yet, Sierra, we are, because I saw that and I thought they're for real. But first of all, let me back up. Let me backtrack, because we definitely, let's talk about that real quick. One of the things that we noticed really quick was the whole No Kings thing, and likening it to Antifa and so forth, and how, what all the things that they're planning on doing. Have you seen the video of Pam Bondi and the rest of them and all of these other folks that they've gotten and put on the White House page, where they're talking about how horrible Antifa is? Yeah, he's going to keep firing people, and then he's going to replace them with Trump loyalists. That's exactly what he's going to do. Yep. And no matter what anyone says, I think we are past what some people would call, I'm going to just call it the CW. I think we're there. Yeah. And Kristi Noem, I'm so like, I honestly don't have any words. All right. So let's see who affected agencies include the Departments of Homeland Security, Education, Energy and Health, and Human Services, among others. Okay, so let's talk about that. The Trump administration today started laying off more than 4,000 federal workers, according to a court filing. We ran up on that. Reduction in force notices are being sent to federal workers across 7 departments, with the Treasury Department and Department of Health and Human Services being the hardest hit and accounting for more than half of the total layoffs. Okay, according to a new Justice Department filing. Now, the court filing is in response to a lawsuit over the shutdown layoffs from the American Federation of Government Employees and the AFL-CIO. All right, other affected agencies include the Departments of Homeland Security, Education, Energy, Housing and Urban Development, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Do we need to read the different agencies again? Because this is kind of scary. Do we need to read them again? Court filing is in response, and then let's talk about that. Homeland Security, Education, Energy, Housing and Urban Development. That's HUD, y'all. Correct, Dora. Yeah. Yep. HUD and the EPA, all the ones that are regulating what he does. The rifts have begun, according to the White House Budget Director Russ Vought. That's his name, said on X earlier today, referring to reductions in force for workers. While he didn't provide details, a spokesperson for the White House Office of Management and Budget confirmed to NBC News that the layoffs have begun and said they will be substantial. OMB senior advisor Stephen Billy wrote today in today's filing that the affected agencies, in addition to others, may actively be considering whether to conduct additional rifts, including rifts related to the ongoing lapse in appropriations. Goldie, you don't know how silly you sound. Goldie said, y'all, Goldie said, so glad for the federal reductions, less debt. Okay. Hey, wins. They are all the departments that help and protect. Exactly. To help and protect the American people. Medical premiums are literally quadrupling. Yes, 114%, Angie T. Yeah, we talked about that. What was it? Monday we said that. And people thought I was playing. A-Wins, they just laid off. Not only did it, laid off. Let's call it that. They just fired over 4,000 federal employees today. So let me tell you what those departments are once again. Let's see. The Treasury Department. The Treasury Department. I must have missed that. Who else was laid off today? Department of Health and Human Services being the hardest hit. I wonder why. Do we need to find out what each one of these departments do? I think that would be good. Department of Health and Human Services being the hardest hit and accounting for more than half of the total layoffs, according to a new Justice Department filing. The court filing is in response to a lawsuit. And then Russ Vought, who actually is one of the co-authors of Project 2025, or what they call the Heritage Foundation's document, is actually head of this department that did this. You doggone right, is crazy. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the neighborhood, y'all. If you're new here, first of all, let me say this again, because I see some of you guys popping in on the other platform as well. Welcome to the neighborhood. My name is Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and Brownstone Living Magazine. Here's what I need you to do. Plug in. Welcome to the neighborhood. Winter is a-coming, ain't it? Yes, baby. And when I tell you hell done froze over already, listen. So what we do here when we come together is, yes, can you hear me screaming too, Kelly? For real. So here's what we do here in the neighborhood. The first thing that we do is we sit down at my table and we just have a laugh and talk moment in the middle of everything that's going on. But we also provide information that you absolutely need. Not so that you are angered or that you are fear-mongered, so that you can, number one, be empowered and get the information that you need. I try my best to provide you all with information that has been researched prior to me actually posting any information, so that you're not sitting around here going, well, wait a minute, that ain't what she said, or, you know what, well, I heard, and da-da-da-da-da, you know. So I dig deep sometimes. That's how come I haven't been posting as much, because I'm being very careful not to share information that is not accurate. Okay. And if I do, then you bet your bottom dollar I took some time researching it. Okay. And the thing that we have to do is neighbors for each other. I don't care if you're left or right or whatever. I am in Georgia, Delia. I'm in Atlanta. One of the things that I like to tell people is it's one thing for sure. Yes, tapping is clapping. Thank you so much for that, Tori. I'm on everything. I'm on everything. Brownstone Worldwide. You can find me anywhere, and then you can also find, of course, Meta, and I'm live now on all the platforms. So hey there, Ramon. How are you? So what we do here is we just talk. Yes, I'm on Substack as well at the Brownstone Brief. Yes, we are there. So the one thing that is most disconcerting with all of this is a lot of people want to put their head in the sand. I had someone on Meta today when I announced the information about the school teacher that was not the school teacher, but the mom who was in line to pick her kids up from school, and ice broke in her car and dragged her out of her car before she could pick up her damn kids. And she and I thought, you got to be freaking kidding me. This is the country that we live in. So that, and then, you know, and it's like, okay, this is not to fearmonger any of you, but somebody got mad with me in the comments, and she said, I need to go ahead and pull it up because it completely flipped me the hell out. I said, I know doggone well that you are not, and watch me be the one that can't find it. But she let me have it. She was like, God is my protector, so forth and so on. This is that and the third. And she said, all you do is sit here and you just read the news and you make people scared and you do this. And okay, keep your damn head in the ground if you want to. Keep your head in the ground if you want to. They're absolutely tripping out. Yeah, they're mad at the truth. And here's the thing, I could tell she was an older lady by the way that, you know, certain words she was saying or whatever. And I don't care anything about that. Stay over there if that's what you're going to do. But don't say that nobody ever tried to warn you. Don't ever say that no one tried to give you the information so that you can make a decision for yourself. Here's what we do here in the neighborhood. And anybody that has been here before, you saw it too, Coach. So anyone that's been here before, you know that we are neither left nor right. We for right. If it's right, it's right. Right's right and it don't wrong nobody. Period. And it's just, thank you so much for that. And the thing that's really disconcerting to me is even those people who believe that this man that's in office and all of the millions that surround him have their best interest at heart. He loves the poorly uneducated. That's number one. Brownstone Brief, the Brownstone Brief. Yes. Yep. And I really need to figure out why it didn't kick in like it normally does. I might have to try it again. But yeah, so I literally am blown away. I'm blown away by the amount of people that want to believe that ignorance is bliss. Right. And we're living in plenary authority right now. Smart people don't like you. Right. He said that. He sure did. It's like, you got to be kidding me that you don't want to know this information. And then you get mad. Thank you for the follow. I just saw it come through, whoever you are. But yeah, so I just lost my Substack. And I'm getting ready to load it right back. So I am confused at the amount of people who literally are angry. Somebody called me a raggedy bitch today. Facebook is not for the weak. Sure did. And of course, with my slick mouth, I responded. I sure did. I said, oh, just like your mama, huh? Okay. And I guess they thought, oh, yeah, oh, honey, I could call all kind of stuff. But today was a good one. I sure did. I said, just like your mama. Because if you bold enough to call a woman who you don't know, because the first thing I do is I go ahead and I look you up because I want to see who you are. Are you real? Because I could tell if you're real or not, right? But you're an actual person, and you clearly are just all over the place because all you're doing is posting butterflies and stuff. You know, yeah. And honey called me a raggedy bitch. I said, oh my. Yes, that's so nice. You're going ahead and call me a raggedy bitch. But this raggedy bitch going to continue to give you the news and information that you can use. Period. That's it. Thank you, Kenny, for that. I appreciate you. See, that don't even bother me. If you think Trump rocks, you go right ahead. Because eventually, baby, he going to have all of y'all kicking rocks. Yeah? Keep on. Keep on. Y'all keep right on. And see, here's the thing. The one thing that y'all don't understand is that this man doesn't give two shits about any one of us. He and his family are literally, and all of his minions around him are literally creating this dissension in this country. And we too stupid to see it. We keep arguing amongst each other. We keep talking about the same drama. Let me explain something, y'all. Talk about them Epstein files one more time. That they're never going to release. I just saw a post from a sister, from a woman that I follow, and I adore her. I think she is absolutely amazing. I don't care that the FBI got the files. We know they do. Tell me something that I don't know. Tell me something that, right. But the thing is what is so confusing to me is how in the world we sitting up here talking about Epstein files and the world is falling apart. The one that we knew. We already know. Exactly, Edgy T. I don't care about that. You know why I don't care about that? Because y'all not going to do nothing. You're going to keep on doing what you're doing, and you're going to continue to keep talking about all of the things. Do I care? Yes. Do I care at this point? No. Because you're not going to do anything with them. That's it. Tess, we have one in this room. And so that's, yeah. And so let's talk about the No Kings protest. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. See, this is how we ended up. I always end up squirreling with y'all, don't I? Every single time. Yeah, that's my point, Angie T. I didn't say that it's not a priority, but they're going to do everything that they can to keep from releasing them. Everything. Because every single day is something. But y'all, I keep thinking about the fact that I say this often. Everything that begins ends. And when this is over with, a couple of things that we know, the people that have ice all written all over them and stuff like that, and they run around here, honey, when the salt melts the ice, the names will be revealed. Then what? Which they're trying to see to it that we don't have one. But baby, listen, that's why it is so important at this very moment that we learn one thing, and that is to stand down. I say it all the time, because the more of us that stand down and we learn how to resist in other ways, the more that they will be able to do nothing but what they are currently doing, and that is to continue to dismantle. And they're super excited about it. They think that this is a game. This is so much fun. This is so exciting. But you don't even know where it ends and where it begins. Exactly, the jump. We don't worry, it's coming. I promise you. I don't, in my knowing in my spirit, I guarantee you we're going to see the end to this. And when we do, it's going to be a hot mess. You'll be the gatekeeper. Let me explain something to you. What's that song by Bone Crusher? I mean that from the bottom of my soul. It's not a whole lot to scare me. Honey, I done seen death. I've had a near-death experience. I've seen it. It's not a lot that scares me. You know what scares me? Watching my children grow old. Watching my daughter get gray. Because it is a sign of my own mortality. That's what scares me. And that I don't have enough time to do all of the things that I desire to do. That scares me. Not this. Not this. It is very terrifying. Because I'm looking at my child on the phone and she's like, I gotta. So she's a full-time photographer. She's a professional photographer. And she had a photo shoot today with a couple, beautiful couple. She did all of their work today. So before she went on her shoot, I called her and I was like, what are you doing? She was like, well, Mama, you caught me at a bad time. I'm getting ready to do photo shoots, so forth. We talking or whatever. She's trying to get all her equipment together and stuff. And she bent her head down and she has gray. And I thought, oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. She's 35. And I thought, she's gray. And then the other day, y'all, she was talking about she woke up in the middle of the night and she was hot. And I thought, oh, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. It's a blessing, right? Because, you know, I've been blessed with grandchildren and all the things, and I'm still running around doing, but I saw that gray streak. I said, damn. And all I could hear was tick tock, tick tock. That's what scares me, is knowing that as time moves on for her, it definitely is moving on for me. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Black Butterfly. But that is really what I was thinking today. I was like, dang, it's a lot of things I could be scared of, but death and taxes ain't one of them. Yeah, absolutely. And the knowing that comes with understanding that since I have breath in my body, I have a social responsibility to people. Everybody's not me, right? But what we're going to talk about tonight in this room is we're going to be talking about, number one, the facts, the information. And then number two, what we're also going to be doing, and hopefully you guys will, your show is on Flotus is a mess. Now that is hilarious. So we're also going to be talking about news and information. We're going to be talking about our two senators and our congresspeople. We're going to do 4 because remember, I didn't go live last night. I got sick last night. You can't mess with everybody whine. Can't do it. And then and it's Friday. You know what I mean? So I got time today. Now here's the thing. Well, thank you, Flotus. I need to be on TV. Child, listen, they don't need to give me a TV show. Lord have mercy. If they gave me one, it would be over with because I would have an audience full of y'all. We would be in the neighborhood. We would have fake front porches and everything. Listen, just sitting there, just chilling on the front stoop, like my mother and them used to do, drinking they bubbly or whatever. Well, my mother was, she preferred beer. Being from Milwaukee, she drank Miller. And she put a little ice in there and she'd just be sipping with a straw. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk about this. Homeland Security, education, energy, housing, and urban development was the hardest hit. No, not the hardest hit, but the hardest hit. Which one did they say it was? Department of Health and Human Services. You will watch me. Oh, that's so sweet. ACDC. Well, y'all go ahead and put it in the. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in the atmosphere. You let's go for a podcast. Yes. Oh, thank you, Kedra. I hope I said your name right, sweetheart. If I didn't mean any harm by that. All right, so let's dig a little bit deeper. So now they're shutting down all of these departments, not shutting them down, but here we go. The notices were issued to an estimated 315 employees. Flotus, I already have a podcast. It's called The Rivalry Report, and this is actually a podcast. It is. Because when I'm done, officially, we've started preparing them to put them on Spotify. You just found your way here. Well, come on in the room. Hey, K-Shot, Auntie Susan Tech, come on in here, girl. How you doing? 315 employees at the Commerce Department have been fired. It's crazy out there. Well, Tiffany, let the folks out there know. Yes, it's called The Rivalry Report. We just started it. A friend of mine, her name is Heather Asanyambi. She and I, you could go over to YouTube and find it there. We've done 5 episodes. We're shooting tomorrow at the studio. And so, y'all, I got a studio. I need to take pictures and let y'all see. That's right. I got a studio. Yeah, I have a studio now. And that's pretty cool. You just watching and listen? Yeah, baby, they fired them, honey. They ain't furloughed. Not at all. Thank you so much for that, y'all. Yes, I did. I have a studio here. So let me explain real quick before we jump back into this, because you see I'm squirreling. To answer your question, I have my home is my studio. Let's be clear. When y'all see me here, I purchased the house for the aesthetic effect because I was filming blog podcasts back then. And it was called The Sunday Brunch for a radio show that I was doing. And we had a television show that went with it where I cooked. And the name of the show was, again, The Sunday Brunch. And our mantra was rise and shine for your lives. And then I realized that it wasn't enough to just cook and to make you feel good. I was like, okay, I dig the island. It was really cool because that was why I was like, oh my God, it's got an island. Yo, I could cook in there and do all the things. And so the garage, I have 2 cars. Cars ain't been in there since I got the house because we turned it into a warehouse on one side and my office on the other. So I have a huge glass desk, which ultimately really is just a dining room table. And I have computers and stuff in there. And then we have black and green backdrop and, you know, a little corner where we do some filming and stuff. And we use every corner of the house for filming because one of the things that we do quietly is I have a magazine called Brownstone Living Magazine. You can go ahead and check it out. And we take pictures and well, Junior to that. Yes, you can see this. It is. Well, you can actually see the video. There's a video at the very top. It's pinned to the top of my my timeline, and you'll see it. It's me in the house. And yeah, we filmed here. We do photo shoots here. We do all the things, and we actually cut commercials here as well. A lot of UGC works gets done here, and so I realized that the more that I began to obtain clients and do more in-person photo shoots, I had to have a place outside of the house because everybody don't need to come here. You see what I mean? So I officially started using it about 4 months ago, and it became official this week. So I just left there about 2 hours ago to go and film really quick, set some things up because then I'm going to go back tomorrow. And it's really, really nice. It's not far from the house at all. It's in our little district, our little downtown district where I live. And it's necessary. It is absolutely necessary. And that's the growth, right? Like I've been praying for a huge studio, but you know, Spirit was like, nah, girl, we gonna baby step you into this. Stay within your budget. Stay within your budget. So of course I'll be keeping you guys abreast of what happens as it begins to flow. But hopefully by next summer, 2026, I will be in the warehouse studio I want to be in. So I'm really excited about that. I am a nervous wreck, but it is important so I can continue to provide you with news and information. Number two, to get a better backdrop, to be more professional, do the things that are necessary as we continue to grow. And why is this important to me? Because I am one of the 0.01% of Black women that own a media company. So I'm trying to remain one of the ones that will become the authority. And it's a lot of work. So I just wanted to put that out there. And thank you for those of you all who have gifted, who have supported, who have shared, who I have met in UGC classes and other things. And we're just doing the things that I appreciate you all for being here for the long haul, because it's just watching the growth, I think, has been. And I actually shot 2 of my news pieces at the studio this week. Because if you notice, it was white. It was a white backdrop. It was completely white, except for the furniture. The furniture is black. So it was pretty cool. Anyway. Exactly, Kayshawn. I received that. I take all the energy. All right, so let's get back into it. So here's the number of people that were fired from each department. 315 employees at the Commerce Department, 466 at the Education Department, 187 at the Energy Department. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. Roughly 1,100 to 1,200 employees at Health and Human Services were sent notices, in addition to 176 DHS employees and 1,446 workers at the Treasury Department were terminated today. Not furloughed, terminated. You come here, oh, bookish Black boy mom, wonderful. I try, y'all. See, and do you think that's what it was though, Stephanie? Do you think that that's what it was? Because it looks like they were just looking at the numbers. An estimated 20 to 30 EPA employees were sent general notices today saying they may be affected by reduction in force in the future. Yep. So remember, we talk about this often here. We always say that there's always a strategy behind this. Yep, Chief, I 100% agree with you. Do not think for a moment that these people do not have a plan, because they do. I don't know. Now, it doesn't say who is what, right? But what I will say is, let's see, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and arm of the Commerce Department also previously sent notices to 126 employees when the government shut down on October 1st. Now, what I believe is that they will be replacing these people with loyalists. That's what I believe. If you don't think that they are not paying attention to that. And if you can't pledge allegiance to what is happening, see, here's the thing. Here's where I'm furious. Well, yeah. So RN 373737, I think that's this was back a while ago, back in the summer, they passed that bill where they will be supporting digital currency. Okay. So knowing that, we already know that's one of the reasons why they want to do it. Every department. So this is the one that I'm really concerned with here. I'm concerned with all of them, but Health and Human Services. So let's pull it up. Let's take a look. Because y'all know how we do here. Hold on. You got to know these things. All right. And he did. He actually, that's going to be, I'm actually doing a think piece on that one where he let go of all of those. So HHS oversees the following. Y'all ready? Centers for Disease Control, manages disease prevention, public health emergencies, vaccinations, and health guidance. Food and Drug Administration is also a part of that. Regulates food, drugs, vaccines, and medical services, devices to ensure they're safe and effective. National Institute of Health is also a part of that. It funds and conducts medical research on everything from cancer to Alzheimer's to emerging infectious disease. So they're actually behind most of the science and health safety standards that the U.S. relies upon, okay? Let's talk about health coverage, which is also a part of this. Medicare for seniors, sit down. Medicaid for low-income individuals and families. CHIP, that's Children's Health Insurance Program for children and families who earn too much for Medicaid but can't afford private insurance. Affordable Care Act implementation, including healthcare.gov. Yeah. This department makes sure people have coverage. They set the rules for insurance plans and monitors how states deliver their services. Pay attention, because think hard on this part right here, because remember, this is always about strategy. It's always about strategy with these people. Why would you want to get rid of this many people in this department that services so many people who are literally in a ton of red states, by the way? All right, now let's also talk about public and welfare services. Through the Administration of Children and Families, or the ACF, child care assistance, foster care and adoption programs, refugee and human trafficking assistance, community development and family support programs. It's about making sure families, children, and vulnerable communities have basic support. All right. It also supports cutting-edge research on new treatments and cures, preventive care, advanced technologies like AI in medicine, equal health equity, and rural health initiatives. So much of the medical innovation in the U.S. flows through grants and programs, tied to the NIH and HHS. Nope, we don't need none of that, Susan, do we? Emergency preparedness and response, responding to pandemics and epidemics like COVID-19 or measles and pox. Coordinating health, hospital, and emergency medical support through disasters. Overseeing the strategic national stockpile of medicines and equipment. So when there's a national health emergency, Health and Human Services is on the what? Front line. Bingo, Desiree. Civil rights and equity. Sit down. There's more. Health and Human Services also enforces laws that protect non-discrimination in healthcare settings. Patient privacy. Those are your HIPAA laws, but it's a law. Equal access to health care regardless of race, gender, disability, or income. This actually ensures health care is not only available, but that is fair, folks. Health and Human Services is also the backbone of the nation's public health system, keeps food and medicine safe, funds health insurance companies, protects vulnerable communities, prepares for emergencies, invests in medical innovation, and enforces civil rights in healthcare. Hey, Miss Jazzy, let me tell you what we're discussing today. If you are just now joining us, we are currently going through the departments who were fired today by the federal government, not furloughed. They're not coming back. They ain't getting no back pay. They're fired. Okay. Somebody asked a question earlier about department. Let's see. The Department of Health and Human Services, does it play a role when it comes to food assistance like SNAP or WIC or whatever? But I want you guys to understand that these are food assistance programs that fall under another federal agency that we did not cover today. It's the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Okay. Now, there is a joint oversight between the two. So WIC provides nutritious food and breastfeeding support, health screenings for pregnant women, and so forth. Hey, Craig, how are you? Administered by the USDA, but Health and Human Service workers, they work closely with WIC programs through public health agencies like Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Health Resources and Service Administration, and then your local health departments and so forth. It begins to trickle down. So while the USDA runs WIC, Health and Human Services supports and supports and provides the clinical side that is necessary. Follow where I'm going with this. Did you hear what we just said? Correct. It is absolutely his shutdown, and it was done on purpose. Let's talk about this. Food stamps are not a part of this. This is the USDA only. Honey, Biden ain't even in office. Keep it right now. This is not a Harris border, baby. Get your lies right. And when you come in here with facts. We appreciate you, though. Thank you for coming in and being engaging. All right. So SNAP is through the USDA only. Right. So no food, no health care, particularly for the poor and marginalized. But here's something else. If you notice, a couple of the big ones that we mentioned. Hey, Step Gam. Yes, I do. Bookish, I do. And eventually I'm going to have to get one, aren't I? I had one early on. Don't be worried. So here, check this out. So when we go back up and we look at the news and information, or the information we just went over, protecting public health, providing healthcare coverage through what? Medicare, Medicaid, Children's Health Insurance Program, and Affordable Care Act. What is the one thing that you're hearing a lot of? Because each one of these can be replaced, correct? Yes? Each one of them can be replaced, right? So if they can be replaced, I wonder who would do the replacing. You ever thought about that? Think about it. Bingo. Brittany, private. Thank you for those of you all who are joining on the other platforms. I appreciate you. Yep, exactly. Private. Susan, that's a good question. I think maybe we should start to find out about that in our local communities. Now, before we end every show, we always tell you where you guys and what we can do locally. Hey, lovely Lacey, how are you? We always talk about the things that we can do. Whoever controls the food, controls the medication, controls everything. And so here's the thing. Here's what I want y'all to understand. The strategy ultimately is to privatize the majority of this stuff. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it with the purchases of specific social media platforms. And those folks just acquired Paramount, correct? We got to start following this money, y'all. This is a money game for these people. They don't care nothing about you. I keep saying it. They do not care about Michael Jackson said it best. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. And then no one can afford it. No one can afford it. You want to know where they went? Well, in an article that I read yesterday, let's talk about the tariff. So a question was just asked in the TikTok feed. Where's that $17 million in tariffs? It ain't been paid. Did y'all know that? So a couple of friends of mine literally are considering closing their businesses because they cannot afford the tariffs on their products that are still in customs. So they got their stuff delivered, and then they got an extra bill that says, well, in order for you to get your stuff, you have to pay this tariff. And the tariff is like $20,000. You're a small Black business. You don't have that kind of money. So it has to sit there. And what they're doing now is they're starting to destroy those items. They're starting to throw them away because people can't afford it. Exactly. And it's hurting small businesses, Stephanie. You're right. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to send it back to China or wherever it's coming from. And and the fallacy, this is what blows my mind. The fallacy that the country that it came from is paying the tariffs. How in the world? How could you even possibly think? Yeah. So you're getting a bill. Hey there, Weeshock. How are you? Yeah. And we're not going to pay it. People are not going to pay it. That stuff is going to sit there and people are closing their businesses. And it never dawned on me until today when I saw that article that, yes, he does, Tori. He loves the poorly educated. Yep. Tariffs won't get paid because we owe those countries. The tariffs are not going to get paid because the people can't afford it. The people can't afford it. Business owners cannot afford it. And here's the other thing. What some business owners have tried to do is they have tried to offset the cost. Go to Walmart. You'll see what Walmart's doing. Walmart has literally raised the prices on stuff that they said was a discount, and then they're pretending that that's the discount. But if you peel back the little sticker, you'll actually see what the actual price was. They're offsetting the cost by administering that price to you. If it's an additional $5 or an additional 50 cents over here, and hoping that they'll continue to have that same amount of people come in. So it's ultimately a numbers game. $1.75 at the dollar store. It's no longer the dollar store. Cheers, folks. So when I read the list of what the Department of Health and Human Services and how many people got fired from that department today, it's all of the things that protect us, our health, and where we need additional services. You love the cheers? Because we all have to start bartering and trading amongst ourselves, Desiree, yes. And that's what we talk about that. But I needed you, again, remember, this is not to fearmonger you, folks. This is so that you understand what is really happening. They hoping we not having roundtable discussions like this in the neighborhood and in brownstones, in living rooms around the country. They don't want us to know. Exactly. DJ Kitty said they only want big business. And that's the whole point. Because if they have these people out of commission, they got to bring somebody in, right? That's what's happening. Crystal, get out of here. No, I didn't know that. And it is about control. But see, the problem began when when our politicians started accepting APAC, Super PAC, and PACs. And so they become beholden to whom? The corporations and major companies that have paid for them to get into office. Every last one of us is doing that. You are correct. Yeah. Exactly. Dads support dads. You are absolutely correct. They are bringing in their friends to make the profit private. Correct. So when you think about it, when you think about who's at the table for this acquisition of TikTok, think about that. So when we're talking about the acquisition of TikTok, who's at the table? His homies. We not. They didn't say, hey, all of you people who have been on TikTok for X amount of whatever, we're going to give a portion of it to you. All you got to do is come up with $100 and everybody will own a piece of it. They didn't say that. Did they? Absolutely not. That would be too much like right. So when we're looking at companies like a TikTok and Ellison and these people who are in this specific realm where it's not that many of them, but it's enough of them to say we want to run and control everything, here we are. Well, they don't have to buy it. They already said they control it. You see what I'm saying? So when we're reading who got cut loose tonight, we know that every last one of these departments can be privatized. You catch that? These were done today, RN 3737. Cheers. That was the whole play. And if you read Project 2025, you would know. And what, Andy? What about abortion clinics? Let's hear this one. Everybody move back. Let him have the floor. I'm all ears. Y'all ready? Oh, it's okay, Lulu. That counts as a cheers too. Yes, girl. Let me find one. Oh, I don't have one. Darn it. Hey, Laura, how are you? And that's fine too. They can do whatever they want to. Because let me explain something to you. I'm with it, Morning Star. I'm with it. Go for it. You got the answers. We're here to provide you with information. That's it. Yeah, we're waiting. Right. Dora, exactly. How did that become a part of this conversation? It's not the same. All right. So here we go. Listen, what you say? You would share? Oh my God, today. Oh, girl. So now, so it says here that the spokesman, Andrew Nixon, said the cuts at that Department of the Health and Human Services was focused on countering a bloated bureaucracy. Yeah, we're going to be waiting, Dora. Yeah, created under the Biden administration, adding HHS continues to close wasteful and duplicative entities, including those that are at odds with the Trump administration. Did you catch that? Oh, hey, Retro Red. Including those that are at odds with the Trump administration's Make America Healthy Again agenda. I need the whole damn bottle. Have you ever seen that meme with the guy and he the glass is just shaking and it's just liquor everywhere? That's how I'm feeling right now. You don't have, yeah, it does. Oh my God. Child. So let me clear up a couple things. Because I keep seeing Chuck Schumer's name come up in the timeline, both over here and here. And I need you all to understand, did I not say earlier that we just provide facts and information and we learn how to laugh to keep from crying sometimes and all of this circus shit that's going on, right? So what I want you all to understand, but Andy, you never answered the question about abortion clinics. Come on, bro. Excuse me, I'm about to cuss y'all. If cursing offends you, close your ears. I'm with the shits tonight. Come on. What about abortion clinics? We waiting. And guess what? We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. I'm with it. Let's go. Okay. I got time today. I don't have to be nowhere because I'm self-employed. To ride, period. I thought so. Come on now, just say you say with me. Yes. Let's go. Listen. I'm with it tonight. Yes, darker. Like that song say, bork, bork, chicken, chicken, chicken head. That's what I thought. Because if you're going to bring it, bring facts. Because that's what we ride on. He's still in here. What do you think about the app the Vance owns, Acre Trader, to help foreigners buy up our land? Know all about it. Let me just say this. Yes, I'm very spicy. Yes, but let me just say this because I'm, it's starting to hit just a little something, but I'm just going to let you know I'm unbothered because that's what they voted for. Because see, they thought that subsidies was like a thing when subsidies is welfare. Yeah. So they voted for this. So for our farmers, I have something for you. You ready? Are you ready? I got something for y'all. Y'all know what it is. Let's go. You ready? Because this is what you voted for. Now, y'all come on out here in the sunshine with the rest of us. Because you thought in all of your getting, you forgot to get understanding. In all of your getting of those subsidies, those government subsidies, you forgot that those people that were receiving SNAP benefits, food stamp benefits through the USDA, when that money was sent back through your grocery stores and that money was paid back through the government, that money was given back to you, the farmer. Well, I'll be damned. Y'all thought y'all were self-sustaining the whole time. You thought that you were building a business the whole time, and it was cyclical. Because without the food stamps and without the WIC, you couldn't get rid of the cheese and the eggs and the milk and the food, that the grains and the wheat and the beef. You couldn't get rid of it. And so they developed a program. And guess what? You voted against your best interest because you didn't want them people to get those fucking food stamps. When in reality, that was a certificate to pay your ass back and keep you afloat. I need a mic. Paulette on the mic needs a mic. Right now. Now it's spoiling. Ain't it, A-Win? Exactly. Oops, I did it again. Yep. I played with myself. Yep. Got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby. Oops. Yeah. Oops is right. While y'all making millions off of food stamps. Because otherwise, your farms would have been gone a long time ago. Marjorie Taylor Greene just trying to stay relevant so she can get voted in again because she knows she messed up too. Oh no, they didn't see that coming, Delia. They didn't. Now y'all mad at him. I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. You did vote for this. But see, this is what happens when the poorly uneducated votes against their best interests, thinking that you all are on the same playing field and you're fucking not. How about that? I mean, it's just facts. And thank you. Yes, it was supposed to end up like that, but it's just the facts. Exactly, RJ. I 100%. Yeah, and it is. Let's talk about that real quick, Dora. So the reason why we discovered and how we all learned this together, for some of you all who been ride with me for a minute, I actually had an opportunity to hear a Black farmer talk about this. And all of a sudden, the wheels in my head went click, click. Black farmers don't get the same type of subsidies or monies. They're actually denied that. So they're not suffering the way that white farmers are right now. So these white farmers were depending on, hey, Keandra, how are you? Now, these white farmers were depending on those government subsidies. And when they voted against their best interest, thinking that they were voting rah, rah, sis, boo, bah for the white dude, rather than the woman that would continue to keep them running, the Black farmers were already feeling it because they were being denied the monetary resources and access to the subsidies. A Black female farmer said it with her own mouth. You see that right here? Get none. My father was a farmer, soybeans. He never got any money during the Bush administration. Correct. So Black farmers been talking. They're in these groups and they're talking about how they've been able to survive this whole time, while white farmers are losing it all because they've been surviving off of government subsidies, which by another name is what everybody is so angry about, and that's welfare. So what we're really having a discussion about is everybody getting played. They don't get the government check. No, it's government subsidies. The government subsidies come from food stamps. Food stamps come from the purchases. WIC comes from that money from WIC. Yeah, racism is expensive. It absolutely is. Quite, is it not, Weshak? It's quite the wake-up call. And it's, it is what it is. I ain't got nothing else to say except, well, or like they say around here in my community, oh, well. I love this for you. You get what you can get and you don't have to fit. Bingo. I'm just saying, so when we look at all of this, the only thing that I can honestly say is this is a well-bought lesson for a whole lot of people. Exactly. RJ, make that make sense. So RJ said, let's check this out. RJ said, meanwhile, escorting people who buy and contribute to our community right up out of here, our economy. So let's talk about that. Welfare check, come get welfare check. Lord of mercy. It's the truth. And people don't know that. I wish y'all had been here that day that I played that recording. She was like, yeah, I'm a Black farmer. And yes, you can share this because people need to know. Folks sitting up here losing entire generations of work down the drain because y'all thought you didn't need welfare. And that's what you've been getting this whole time. I really need that to make sense. So let's talk about a deeper issue here. And that is this thing right here. Yeah, 2 different paying systems. Say it louder. Yeah. So let's talk about this really quick. When we're talking about, because I'm seeing a lot of this in the comments, so I want to go ahead and address this. When we're talking about left and right and so forth, when we come in this room, we like to just share information. I laugh about it sometimes, but it's unfortunate. It really is, because you're really not different from the rest of us. You think you are. You think you are. John Boyd, yeah, John Boyd was talking about it. Wasn't he on Roland Martin talking about it? Absolutely. So we're in here having this experience together because we got people that are creating these falsehoods and these false narratives. We can really talk about that in just a minute. These falsehoods and these false narratives, they're completely dismantling our government in our face, and they are not systematically, they are removing people from this country who have contributed to this country, whether they are documented or undocumented. But when they're undocumented, guess what they still paying? Taxes. I wonder how many taxes we have lost because of what has happened. I wonder how many taxes we will lose in the future because of what has happened, because people have begun to voluntarily remove themselves from this country. I wonder how much we're getting ready to lose. Nobody's thought about that. You know what they see? Your skin color. They see this. They see beautiful brown bean footage and they lose their minds because somewhere along the line, we ain't good enough. I'm going to give you an example. I was talking to an individual yesterday who shall remain nameless, who I have known for a very long time. Female, Black, over 50, and at her age was laid off from her job and has not been able to find anything. And she took it to heart thinking it was her fault, when in reality, close to 400,000 Black women, the number one most educated group of people in the United States right now since March, are the most impacted by the layoffs that have happened in this country. It's not an accident that he's after Letitia James or Miss Cook. I cannot say that I'm one of those. I was laid off during the Biden administration, but that was during the time when that white guy was hell-bent on suing everybody that was trying to do something for just Black folks. And so they got scared and were like, oh, well, you don't have to do DEI. And I was the director of DEI at my last company. I had just gotten the opportunity the year before, and they let me go. And it is absolute hate. It is pure and simple. It is absolute hate. Now, here we are, and we're looking at the number of people who are not in position to protect people on their jobs, right? We're also talking about the amount of people who did the work, who did the work that a lot of people refuse to do any longer. Hey, Digital Empress, good evening. Who not only did the work, they did it well. And they did it fast. Okay. And not only that, but they also moved into communities, a lot of times in small towns, and they helped that community's economy. And now they're gone. Yep, Dan Elliott. Thank you for that. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah. So you see, so while we're sitting in here celebrating human beings, not just people of different cultures and races and so forth, because we're just human beings at the end of the day. Human beings, you all are celebrating the treatment, the poor treatment of human beings. And now it's starting to hit your front yard. Yeah, small communities have really benefited because of the work of immigrants. And I don't care if they're coming from a Latin community or if they're coming from anywhere else, they come over here, honey, and these people work hard. Now, that's not to say that everybody doesn't do that, because I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody's not pulling, but the majority of the people that I knew and know, those are some hardworking individuals, and you cannot beat them up in the morning, and you can't beat them up trying to go to bed to get up and do it again. I wished I would be a part of a purple revolution. We wouldn't have to have this if they'd have done what they were supposed to. But I say it once, I say it again. It needed to happen so we could wake the hell up. We'd have went to sleep and been like, you got it, Kamala. No. Mm-mm. So it needed to happen. No more Medicare, no retirement money, huge education cut, billionaires pay zero taxes. And that's exactly how they want it. Yep. So when we come in this room, we like to share information. We like to provide the facts of what's happening currently so that we're not sitting out here running scared out, from everything. And to be empowered so that you'll know exactly what you need to do. Well, welcome to the neighborhood, Michelle. Michelle Windsor said thanks for letting me listen. Glad you started following. Yes. Welcome to the neighborhood. So these people have been let go. Now let's look at this further. So we are still in a government shutdown. Let's just close our eyes just for a moment. Y'all, I'm about to take my glasses off so I can first of all clean them. Also, I want to close my eyes because I want to play with this in my brain just a little bit. Y'all just follow me because I got to see this in my head. So, all right. So first things first. So January 2025 comes almost immediately. They start picking up people and farms and entire communities begin to be impacted like right away. Right. Okay. These are the people that do the shipping and they help take care of homes and they're building and they're doing all the things. And then entire housing complexes cannot continue to be built because these people are gone. So then what happens to the people that have invested in that stuff, right? So like the building is gone and the project is just sitting there and the wood is beginning to rot because nobody's there to pick it up. Because guess who's not going to do the work? Because you don't know how. And for those who do, they're not going to do it for the amount of money that these people were willing to do it for and do it well and then walk away and move on to the next project, right? So now we're looking at, I've lost my investment, but I still wanted these people gone. And even though I knew that they didn't have no business here like that anyway, right? Because I know what immigration laws are, I'm going to allow them to do it because I was saving a ton of money anyway. So let's talk about that. But then let's also talk about the fact that these are the same people that are at your restaurants and you will go and have Mexican all day long and eat all the guacamole that you can with their fried chips until the sun comes home. Oh, okay. Yeah. So then we talk about that. But then not only just Latinos, we're also talking about people from other countries who were here trying to do the right thing. And you all went into the courthouses where they were trying to legalize themselves. And you went and you picked them up anyway, and you began to detain them. And then we found out that different corporations who are prison corporations who have funding from BlackRock and all of these different big fund places are all of a sudden opening up prisons over here and over here and over there. And guess what? All of a sudden they need $1,500 a day to house these bodies. And so for everybody that gets picked up, guess what? That bounty hunter, because that's what it is, that slave catcher is literally there to make sure that they pick up whomever they choose to pick up. And they're starting to put these people in prisons, in concentration camps, because that's exactly what it is, right? So then we have all of these people that are being paid in these companies that are making this money, and you've invested through your 401k, through BlackRock and all of these other companies that have acquired access to all of these funds so that we can continue to perpetuate the idea that you're investing in something good, but in reality, you've invested in putting these people in prisons because the prison is a part. You catch where I'm going with this? Am I making sense? Exactly. Hey, Samantha. I could have kept going. When in doubt, follow the money. And you can't even say the 13th Amendment is even valid when you violated all of their other rights. There was no probable cause. There was no warrant. And it does not matter whether or not you are a U.S. citizen or not. When you are on the U.S. of A's land, guess what, folks? Don't have me pull up the Constitution, but too bad. I'm going to do it right now. And it's the 4th Amendment, and it is the 5th Amendment, and it is the 14th Amendment. Yes. So what I want you to understand is that all of these amendments literally are right here in the Constitution. Correct. None of these people got due process. So while we are impacting economies by removing people, while we are impacting whole economies by shutting down the government and furloughing all of these people and officially firing 4,000 of those federal employees, think about this. It's going to trickle down, folks. It's going to trickle down. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my car note. I can't buy groceries. I can't do the things that I need to do. So what starts to close down? What communities will be impacted by the fact that you can't do what you need to do, which is to spend the money into the community where you currently live? Daycares can't be paid. Who gonna watch the babies? College educated people waiting tables and doing DoorDash because there's nothing left. It's gonna trickle down. It's already happening, folks. I had plans on flying at the end of the month. It's not gonna happen. So where are homeless people, Kayshawn? Good question. Remember, he said he was making homelessness illegal in DC. So where are those people? Oh, I know. In one of those prison beds. Racking up $1,500 a day. If I'm not mistaken, that is the price per bed. And guess what, folks? Your tax dollars are paying for it. All of it. You're paying for ICE. You're paying their bi-weekly paychecks or their weekly paychecks. You're paying into these private prisons. Those are your tax dollars, darling. Yes. Your tax dollars. You want to continue to keep paying for that? $2,100 a day in St. Louis. Look at that. Am I safe? Do I have my backups? I do not have one. Yep. I'm fine. Yep, the old boy network. Here's the biggest thing that we do here is we help you connect the dots. Get out your feelings and connect the dots. Get out your feelings and connect the dots. We have to stop being so emotional about this and at each other's throats and at each other's foreheads. Do you see what I mean? We have to use our critical thinking, because critical thinking, listen closely, folks, critical thinking is resistance. Let me explain something to you all. He was not kidding when he said, I love the uneducated. You want to find out, Kayshawn? Yeah, critical thinking is your form of resistance, because you have to know what's going on, and they're hoping that people aren't really paying attention. They really, really are. Let's talk about Antifa before we go into that. So earlier today, I saw a video. And they were talking about Antifa. It was Pam Bondi, and it was a group of folks, different races or whatever, talking about how they had been accosted and abused by Antifa. And you know what I found interesting? Is how they made Antifa sound. You want to know what Antifa is? Let's talk about what Antifa is. Antifa is short for anti-fascist. It is not an organization. Hey, Spin the Talk. How are you? Antifa is short for anti-fascist. I called it a name today. I said, they out here looking for Antifa Renee Kayshawn Lewis. And I said, oh, she must be laying up with her baby daddy. That's why they can't find her. Her name is Antifa. Y'all, I mean, but if you give it enough propaganda, we're going to go back to this because I really need you all to continue to think about this for real, for real, for real. It isn't a single organization. It's a loosely connected movement of people, small groups and organizations of people who oppose what they are seeing as fascism, right? And not only fascism, but racism. Not only racism, but white supremacy. Not only racism, white supremacy, but also far right extremism. So what would that make each one of us? Mm-hmm. Right. You know, I saw that today, Rosemary. Listen, exactly, the jump. Exactly. Because we oppose what is currently happening. So then that means that the people that oppose this would be us. And they have already said the loud part really, really loud, which is we're coming for y'all. If you do not believe and stand for, and if you have not kissed the ring, then you're Antifa and we're coming for you. And they made their case not only at that round table the other day, but they made their case with the video today because they're trying their best to validate what they say it is. And again, if they're saying it enough, remember, I've said this before, when you say something long enough, Johnny Q. Public will eventually believe it because he loves the uneducated. And that is why your critical thinking skills is your resistance, because they do not want you to do that. Because when you do that, then you understand who you are. I do not say that I am Antifa, but clearly that's what I am. Because I'm against what's happening. Okay? Now, here's something else too. Antifa does not have like any activists who run anything or are not, Antifa doesn't have leadership, right? No central funding, and there's no headquarters because Antifa is just a term. Exactly. The jump woke is you're aware of what's going on. And I've been saying, we've been saying woke in my community for so doggone long. There are no groups. There's no local. There's no independent. It's none of that. It's just people who get sick and tired and we decide that we've had enough. Mm-hmm. It's an idea. It's an ideology. It's a concept. Thank you for that, Weeshock. Yep. And they put everybody in one group. Correct. Yep. That's what they're doing. So some of the things that Antifa folks do is a perfect example is the no more. It's no kings. It is what it is, right? Protests and counter rallies, online exposure of extremist groups, like some people call it doxing. Direct confrontations. And sometimes they have turned violent, but most recently we've seen in Portland, honey, they down there doing electric slide. Passing out flowers. Yeah. And so I want you all to be aware of that. And the reason why is because while you are learning this, share this. Not so that I can get more followers, because I could care less. Yes, frogs, unicorns in Portland. Yes, honey, they out there doing the thing. Listen, I want you all to share this because they are really putting a lot of energy in using the press, the TV press, to push this narrative of what Antifa is. And Antifa, ultimately, at the end of the day, does not exist. It is a word. He wants to classify it as a terrorist organization. How can you do that when it's not an organization? But if you say it long enough, the right group of people will believe it. Yes, you did, Keshawn. You did. You used to say that all the time, and you still say that. You say get your passport and stuff together. But what about the people that can't afford to go anywhere? And that's the hard part. But it's all, y'all, if you have the accessibility to do it now, what I'm understanding just recently, they refused one professor, a college professor teaching anti-fascism at a college. His name is Mike. His first name is Mike. They refused to let him leave the country, and they couldn't find his plane tickets, none of them. Yeah. So please understand that Antifa is a word that means anti-fascist. It is not an organization. It is because if we say that, then what we're saying is that the First Amendment to the Constitution doesn't exist. Right? That's what we're saying. And it says here, I feel like a kindergarten teacher. Congress shall make no laws. Okay, so Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Did you catch that? Plenary law, plenary authority. Yep. Fayaz, I'm not doing it tonight, baby. Yes, we are, Lulu. Yep. But you still need to know what your rights are, because what happened today to the woman that they threw on the ground until her pants came off of her and you could see her backside, and they were literally putting her in handcuffs, and she was saying, I'm from the press, I'm WGN, right? Freedom of the press is right there. Freedom of the press. And I know it's backwards, y'all, but freedom of the press is right there. It happened today in Chicago. Yep. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Which amendment is that? That is the second one. We hear a lot about that. Amendment 3, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment 4, the right of the people, listen closely, to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures, which is what we have been witnessing. This is your Fourth Amendment right as in no person. It didn't say no American person, no person born in the United States. It says no person. No person. Did y'all catch that? I need to read it again for those people that believe. Whatever happened to the young man that was in here talking about the book? Do we need to read this again? Okay, the right of the people, the right of the people. Not the right of American-born citizens, not the right of people that went to court and got their papers. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause. You got to have a reason to come up in here. And if you do come up in this bad boy, you better bring some documentation. And if you ain't got it, stay your ass outside my damn house. Follow that. Yeah. No probable cause. Don't come in here without a warrant. Supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So you got to specify in the warrant what you're looking for. So when they ask you to step outside, don't. And so when they barge into your house without these said documents and without probable cause, whether it be your vehicle or whatever, or your home, and they come in there, they have just destroyed your constitutional right. Right here. It's right there. Anyway, I wasn't gonna go. Yeah, Chicago's been scary. Yes, I know. I've been paying attention to a couple of people who are saying that they're experiencing, being told stay at home and so forth. Yeah. So again, probable cause has always been, for some of us, our skin color. That's it. But Heather, you are correct. This is the Constitution. Crystal said, not Crystal, I forgot who said that, but somebody just asked, Paulette, what book is that? This is the Constitution. It's Constitution. I bought it at Five Below. I think you can get them. You can get them in online anywhere. You can download it. But I wanted to be able to carry. I have one here and on my bedstand, just in case I want to review some stuff. So the reason why I'm bringing this up about Antifa and so forth is because you need to know what Antifa is and is not. Okay. It is so super important for you all to understand, because when you don't, they'll have you believing one thing when in reality is something else. And we understand the power of media and why he wanted to be sure to control what was being said and not. Correct. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Y'all remember that? You bought 10 copies? We should really just sit down and just read one a day. But we just read all the way up to the 4th Amendment. Okay. Yep. Amazon, Five Below, Barnes & Noble, or your local library. Thank you so much, SCP. I'm dead serious about that too. Do you really catch on? And it's this part. Hold up. I'm about to be real. Just hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure we still got our people. Okay. So a couple things. Let's go ahead and play it. Meta's probably gonna be like, you know what? That's not supposed to be played. We're gonna go ahead and block you. All right. Okay, it's called the preamble, y'all. That's the part that you're singing. Is the preamble. But I think methinks that we need a quick. Hold on. Hey, we're talking about the USA. USA. Do you know about the continent? Do you know the Constitution? Hey. Hey. History is your jam. Remember what I always told you. Yeah. Yeah, you had to learn it. Here it is right here. I got this from my public library. I'm so proud of this. People free. The USA was just starting out. You remember that? Dream. spelled it out. You've never heard it? Famous! Here it is. Here it is. Ready?
The first part of the Constitution is called the Preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do.
We the people, in order to form up a perfect union, establish justice, ensure doomless equality, provide for the common defense, provide the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for United States of America.
1787, I'm told our founding.
Yeah, so there's that. That's the best part, y'all. What about the bill? See, this is what happened. I don't need no more of this. Okay. So it's a matter of life or death. Never protest. We need to all sing that. Yes, Candace. So it is this is actually on YouTube, and it is Schoolhouse Rock, the preamble. I was getting ready to say we need to go ahead, Kedra, and play the bill. Was that fun? Y'all remember that? Hold up. See, this is what I'm talking about. But you're learning something. It is Schoolhouse Rock. So back in the 70s, for a lot of kids to learn about the Constitution and stuff like that, they put out this group of songs. And one of them was the preamble, which is what this is called. And so the preamble is basically the introduction to the Constitution. And so we talked about that. I did too. I got the DVD series. Mess with it in my house. That's like Green Eggs and Ham. My kids know, don't you play with Green Eggs and Ham. That's my book. The grandkids can't touch it. That's mine. Green Eggs and Ham. All right. So let's, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. I am Sam. Sam I am. Yes, absolutely. So let's look at Bill. Oh, yes. All right. So, and what these songs did was it helped us to understand as children how bills were made. And it was so cool. Remember, conjunction, junction, what's your function? It will get you there if you're very careful. Yes, that was my song. All right. Here we go. Schoolhouse Rock. They need to bring those back.
You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get this.
Hold on, I can't even do it over here. I'm gonna play it over here on my other computer. Hang on, because that's too far. I need y'all to hear this because we need to go on ahead and get a little. I'm just a bill, and I'm not logged in. Am I logged in over here? Here we go. Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, I'm going off to the city where I'll sit there and wait. Just a bill. Y'all, we gotta play it. We gotta play it. I mean, we could be going through some stuff, but we still know how to sing. Yes, honey, I will be 55 on Halloween, and I am proud to say it. All right, here we go. I'm not logged in. So, of course, I got a commercial. Why is it so low? While I'm sitting in committee. No, SCP, you are not. You just made 50 in September. But today I am still just a bill. There ought to be a law. Yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. Yes, Linda. The debate. Law, I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. I'm sorry, y'all. And so ultimately, he's teaching this little boy how he becomes a law. Y'all remember that? 54 next March. Woo, child. Yes. We getting on up there. But these were really good for people who needed to learn about how, simple things in Congress and all of that work. And so basically that was it. So I just had to share that. I thought it would have been louder, but I am broadcasting on this as well. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It was pretty cute. And all of us that came up during that time, we learned, and then there were some beautiful ones. Y'all remember Schoolhouse Rock? I'm not buying this. How you asking me to buy? What was another one? The Shot Her Around the World. Y'all remember that one? You played that for your grands? Congratulations, Bill. You're now a law. Oh, yes. Yeah. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Yes. Yeah, 2003, 2006. You didn't know that one? What about figure eight? If you could skate. 3 is a magic number. Oh, yes, it is. Interplanet Janet. I wasn't too fond of that one. Interjection. Lolly, lolly, lolly. Get your adverbs here. Exclamation. Yeah. Verb. Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. All the classics. Just super classics. Yeah. So they're called. For those of you all who are Gen X, we're so sorry, but these were amazing. And it's called Schoolhouse Rock. Let's talk about Morgan Freeman in Electric Company. Hey, you guys! Yeah. You're Gen X. I'm so sorry, Devon. I'm sure you probably will figure out that you've seen them or heard them somewhere. 55 in November. Come on, 55, 55. So 55 is the number 10, which is really the number 1. That's a whole Rita Moreno. Yes. Devon, you're 32. Okay. Which is the number 5. But anyway, okay, so yeah. These are so helpful for you if you are unclear and you just want to enjoy learning about the Constitution and some of the things. How do you know these? Because your mama was probably playing them. You probably have an older sibling or something. You're having fun. Good. No, easy reader. Let's talk about this. Do you remember back in the day? Let me tell you how I ended up really enjoying the news. Back in the day, when I was in the 1st grade, I was 6 years old. We had the Weekly Reader. Claudia, you will love them. If you have not heard them, you will love them. We had the Weekly Reader, and it was a little newspaper that came out, and it was the smell and it was the sound. And I remember thinking that I was like my parents because they would take the Sunday paper and, read it through it, stuff like that. And it was amazing. We would go around, we would read like different portions of the news. You remember those? A Weekly Reader. Yep. And I remember back then, this was in 1976. We were reading about, and I've never forgotten this, how people were going to be able to buy things from a computer screen, like a TV screen. What we didn't know we were talking about is what we're experiencing now, though. Yeah, we were talking about it back then. I remember doing my first coding in DOS when I was in 4th grade. They were teaching us how to program then. No. Hey, Tony, how are you? Hey, Sean, don't tell me that. You're going to have me looking for weekly readers. You remember DOS? Yeah. Okay, Sean, please don't tell me that. Was the old Apple. You remember how big those floppy disks were? Remember that? Okay, so let's explain what a weekly reader. So back in the day, before phones, before all that stuff, people, and I hate to make it sound like this, but let's get real simple, because some of y'all giggling, and I really want to giggle too, but I can't giggle because, you know, back in the day, I remember asking my mother, what was it like to live when dinosaurs lived? And she lost her mind. So, all right, floppy disks were floppy. They were. So back in the day, a weekly reader was a little newspaper that was like folded like this, right? And so it was like, it was made to look like a newspaper. Looking back on it now, what it was it was preparing you to get your copy, your subscription to your community newspaper. So it was setting you up. Just like, remember back in the day, they had candy cigarettes and stuff like that. Well, anyway, so we would read these. Yeah, you got them in school. And it would be the news. It would be what was happening in the world. It was like a weekly recap of everything that had happened in the world. Somebody put it together and it sent a ton of these to the school to be printed. So by the time we got them, they would be printed off. They would have the smell of the ink. You would get used to the sound of the paper rustling. And then in the back, it would be a place for you to buy books that my family could never afford. But I remember that. Yeah. And so I grew up reading the news in front of class when I was 6 years old. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But I used to love it because when I would go home, candy, cigarettes is crazy. Yeah. Uh-huh. Channel 1 for us, and was basically kids highlighted. Yes, real events. Yep. We did the same thing. By then I was in high school and I was reading the news for the morning announcements. Get the little xylophone. Doom, doom, doom. Good morning, Riverside Tigers. Yeah. And I would read the news. And so kids would be like, I heard you on the morning news this morning and so forth. And da, 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 da. Be like, yeah, that was me. You know, yeah. And back then, I'm old. We had a bookstore in high school and you had to go buy your books. What you mean free books? Who got free books? You had to buy them. Reader's Digest, yes. Yep. Sure did. You had to buy your books. And boy, so when I got to college, I was ready. Because I already knew. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to pay for that. How do we end up down this rabbit hole? You do school online too? Yeah. Student store. Yep. So let me tell you, we didn't know anything about, I remember going to college and I was living on campus, and actually I had an apartment first and then I moved on campus because it was cheaper. But I was living on campus and going to the student union with my little meal card. And it was called the Palm Gardens. Weren't they the best days? Some of the best days. And now this was about the same time. So the year that I graduated from high school, the year before was the year School Days came out. How many of y'all old enough to remember when School Days? I lived in the dorms too. How many of y'all old enough to remember when School Days came out? And the lunches, yes. So School Days came out in 1987. I graduated in 88. See how we just having this conversation? This is how it should be. We could just, what? You took it out my mouth. Because right now, we all need to wake the hell up. DAP said, wake up. 1980 here, 85 here. Okay, you were a junior in college. Graduated in 87, 84. Come on in here, Gen X. 1970. Now I'm old. Now I feel real bad. 93. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Come on in here. Class of 89 in the building. You graduated in 87, 2006. See, this is what you had your son in 86. My firstborn was 90. 89, 83, 78. Back down memory lane. And these were some really good times. When these were the times. Tony Williams, first of all, big shout out to Tony Williams. He is our resident DJ over at Cityscape Radio. He airs his show Monday through, Tony, you have to remind me, is it Monday through Sunday? You're 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Cityscape Radio. And now you go live on Twitch with Brownstone, which I probably need to consider. Yeah. You wanted to change to another live. You love it in here. Oh, yay. You should love it in here. Because y'all, we don't just do news and information. You in the Brownstone. This is, what would you be doing? Let me just ask you this. If you were chilling at your friend's house in the 80s or the 90s and you were just kicking it, what would you be doing right now? You would talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Then you talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Your coworker is asking if I podcast. I do, yes. So backstory. Okay, Sean, some of y'all know this. Tony, you know this. I should just go ahead and tell. More Monday through Sunday, 8 to 10 p.m., Cityscape Radio. You can go over to brownstoneworldwide.com. There's a brother on top with his head back like this with the headphones on. Tap on that and it'll take you to our radio station right there. And you can listen in. So listening to cassette tapes. What else would you be doing on a Friday night at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? Playing games, playing cards, sipping on a little something, no matter what it is, right? You would have your bones out, right? Y'all know what I mean, dominoes. You'd be probably playing some tonk. You'd be playing some spades. You'd be kicking it, frying a little fish right about now. Because it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? Singing, rapping, dancing. If you were in college, I know at this point, we would have probably hit up a couple of places on campus. We would have never left the campus because we had too much going on. And I went to a PWI my first 2 years of college. Okay. So we would have already hit up the Black Student Union. All of the kids with the Black Student Union would have probably went over to this person's dorm or that person's dorm. And then we would have went over here to the Palm Gardens and grabbed something to eat. You know what I mean? We would have and then we would have hit the club. Yeah. University of Alabama in the building. Okay. So I went from University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee to Spelman. Yeah. Long story behind that. Because now I didn't go to Spelman until I was 26. And I was one of the first in the program where they were touting older students. So, story time. This is my story. Then we might bring somebody up and tell another story because tomorrow's Saturday. So in 1989, listen closely. This is really fun. I think this is the fun part. I should just go ahead and tell them. For those of you all who know. So 1989, a group of friends and I were sitting down in the yard at UW Milwaukee. One of our homeboys that went to our rival college was coming up. He's about 2 years older than me. And we didn't think it was weird, but he wore really interesting clothes. And his family owned the Milwaukee Community Journal, Black-owned publication, and it's still around. And his name was Todd. And we went to Laughing and Talking to Kiki and so forth. He had been going back and forth to Atlanta. And supposedly he had a record deal. Well, come to find out he did. And he got signed by a label called Chrysalis, which is no longer around. Well, he knew I had a little vocal chops. And I had done some, radio commercials and stuff. No big deal, just kind of whatever. Because I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to go to college for mass comm. And he was like, yo, I would love for you to come out and get you in the studio. You want to come and do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Heck yeah, I want to come and do it. What you got going on? You remember Chrysalis? Well, hey, Carol Sue, I just noticed you in here. So we go to the studio and he plays a couple of songs for me. And he said, "You think you can lay something down for this?" And I was like, "Yeah, what you want me to do?" He's like, "Do whatever you want to do." So he played it. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna rap a little bit of it, and I'm gonna see if you know what song it is. See, I don't even know the lyrics, my damn self. Hold up, let me look it up. Why am I drawing a blank on the daggone song, y'all? Let me pull it up because I want to get it right so I can rap it right. I said, yeah, sure. So we go in the studio because we were still in Milwaukee at the time. And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead and lay these lyrics down." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I could do it. No problem. What is it? Whatever, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. No problem." So he played these tracks. He says, "See, I was resting at the park, minding my own business as I kick up the treble tone on my radio tape player box, right? Just loud enough so folks could hear its hype. See, out of nowhere comes the woman I'm dating. Investigation, maybe she was demonstrating. But nevertheless, I was pleased. Yeah. What's the rest of it goes, my day was going great and my soul was at ease until a group of brothers started bugging out, drinking the 40 ounce, going the nigger route, disrespecting my black queen, holding their crotches and being obscene. At first I ignored them because see, I know the type. They got drunk and got guns, and yes, they want to fight. And they see a young couple having a time that's good, and their egos want to test a brother's manhood. So they came to test speech because of my hairdo, and the loud, bright colors that I wear. I was a target because I'm a fashion misfit, and the outfit that and so I'm sitting there, I'm listening to it. And so he was like, "All I need you to do is sing it like this." And I was like, "Okay." He was like, "But can you do some harmony so forth?" So I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." So I get in there, sing a little bit something. And that's what you all hear. I am everyday people. Yeah. So I did that one. And I don't even think we was in there an hour. I don't remember. And then he said, "Hey, it's another one I really need you to work on." So we did a couple of them. Fishing for Religion, I think. Mr. Wendell. Mama's Always on Stage. Those are my vocals. The young girl that's doing the Keep Up Your Strength Now. I think I might have been 20. I was 20 at the time. And then we went on tour. And it was the best time of I had the time of my life. Letha, who you know, girl? Bookish Black Boy Mom, stop. No. You have them on Spotify? Yeah. Don't be a fan, girl. Don't be a fan, girl. Yes, girl, we neighbors. For real. He lives like 15 minutes. We all still live in the same area. We like, okay, so Ishi, y'all know she's one of the dancers. She was the main dancer back in the day. Her and her daughter, I don't even think they live 15 minutes, 15, 20, maybe 20 minutes. Speech lives about him and his wife, Yogi. And they're beautiful 2 kids. They grown now. Everybody kids grown. It seems so weird because we were so young. Well, I say all of that to say that time in my personal life has led me to where I am, to answer a question that we had here. You were listening to Nina Cherry and MC like, come on now, you get cha-cha-cha to this la-dee-da. Yeah. And we made history and we didn't know. We didn't know what we was doing. We was just having fun. We were just a group of kids having fun. Won those awards. And it was a blessing to be a part of the whole experience. It really was. It was really cool. It was really, really nice. I really enjoyed all of it. I did not know that it would take me from Wisconsin to where I am now. But the one thing that it did do was it helped me to see business being done early when I was like 19, 20, like I said, 20, 21, whatever. I moved away from home, moved here to Atlanta. I've been here literally ever since. And along the way, I've always either stayed in entertainment behind the scenes or as a songwriter or even in the news, doing radio, right? So like a lot of commercials and stuff that you all hear, you don't know that that's me. Because I could change my voice. And I just stayed in the space, hence the name on TikTok, Paulette on the mic. Because I was like, yeah, I really like this. It's kind of cool, you know. And I learned how to do news and I learned how to do journalism. And I learned it. And I took the royalty checks, baby, and took my black tail right on to college. And number two, I promised my dad. He was like, if you do this, if you come out of school, we'll keep the baby, but you have to promise me that you're going to get your degree. And I did. I am not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I have an MBA in advertising and marketing, and my doctorate is in business ethics. I should have gone to law school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I did that because I was in radio. I was in journalism. And so I stayed in the lane where I was most comfortable. But you know, even as a girl, as a young girl, I always thought, well, maybe you should have gone into law. I still got breath in my body, so there's no telling what I might do. I have worked for TV, but never in front. I've never been a broadcaster. You always heard my voice. Yeah. So one of the things that I really, UC Berkeley, that's right, Kayshawn, that's right, at Sanford and San Francisco State University. Right. And so I'm going to be honest with you. I always felt like this was where I was supposed to be, was where I currently am. You know what I mean? Like doing this. And I remember when I first left the entertainment industry, first of all, you never leave. Let's dispel that myth. Because once you in. You stuck. It's a part of your DNA. And I've always been a part of a stage somewhere. And so I just always just did it. And I thought, oh, okay, well, it's kind of, so I've taught, I've taught acting classes. I've, you know, done background work for film and television shows. Where I live, you know, that we get a lot of our work for the Brownstone here. And so it just seemed natural and it just kind of flowed. Now, I didn't say being a business owner was easy, but this is where I'm most comfortable. So, yeah. So the moral of the story is, I'm teasing. So I said all of that, number one, to answer the question that was asked, are you from? No, I was a college kid who was stupid enough to believe that she could become a millionaire using her voice. There's my truth. So I got close. I got real close. And then I realized that it wasn't about becoming a millionaire. It was about using your voice for change. Yeah. TP Studios might be 45 minutes from where I live because I'm south of the airport. And so is Tyler Perry Studios. Exactly. Background is foreground. Yeah. Yep. Tony Williams, DJ Tony Sanchez. That's what he goes by. From the home, and guess what, y'all? He's in Chicago, of all places, from the home of the Sears Tower. You didn't go to Graham the Girl. I did. I followed my heart. But you know how sometimes when you are young and you think, and then you look back and you when you look back over your life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I gotta take. Well, anyway, so yeah, I have one of those. I have a testimony just like we all do. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, We are where we're supposed to be at every moment of our lives. I've had some good days. But I'm saying all of this because it just always felt right to be here. And I was always passionate about the stories that we would hear when we were on the road, and being a part of some powerful movements at the time, because you got to remember, this was the same time that Tawana Brawley was having her issues in New York, and Public Enemy and Fight the Power and all the things, and what was it, Poor Righteous Teachers, and you had all of these positive Black hip hop artists who were telling the truth. And then here we come with Flowers and African Print, and we talk about everyday people, but we were still conscious and we were still aware of what was happening. And being a part of a historic movie like Malcolm X, and ending up writing and being in the studio with Spike Lee singing Revolution. Why? Oh, yeah. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. But what I learned through all of that is because of where I stood on stages with people like Speech and Ishi and Tari and Headliner and Raza and all the rest of the crew, Baba OJ, may he rest in peace. The one thing that I learned was that our voices could either make or break so many. How you present yourself. We could sing. Hold on just a minute. Who is knocking on my door almost anybody? Who is that knocking on the door?
I don't know why they knocked on it. I ordered food.
That's so weird. Everybody knows you sleep at the door.
You about scared death out of us.
No, I'm mandatory there.
Oh, Domino. I forgot other people besides DoorDash. And I heard it too, because I can't sleep.
I'm like, what in the world?
That makes sense. That makes sense why she not it's actual delivery.
But was you stood up or were you sleep?
No, I've been up.
Yeah, that scared the mess out of me. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm live. And this person knocks on the daggone door. What is happening? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, so who that? My son ordered pizza and forgot to tell us. And the person knocked on the door. Where were we? So yes. So what I was saying, see, that made me lose my train of thought. Thanks. So my point was, you thought it was ice now.
Yo, that's wild. Come on. Man.
All of that for that little bit. I can't with you.
I know,
Anyway.
right? This is a medium.
That is not a medium. That is a small. They played you.
That's a medium pizza.
That is not a medium pizza. At 11 o'clock. Family. Right. Okay. So I'm saying all of that. Let me see.
Oh God.
They don't want to see you. They say they want to see the food.
Oh my God.
All of this. Domino's. My son ordered Domino's. It will be gone, I guess, in the next
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, bye.
All right. Thank you.
Anyway, all right. So I said all of that to say about me being in the entertainment industry. All of it played a part in currently. And here's my truth. I recognize pepperoni and sausage. Yes. I recognize what is happening, and I am learning how to trust and be obedient to the call that I have. Michelle, he gone upstairs. He's gone. He's like, I'm out. Do you see what I mean? I am bringing this up because it takes us back to what is currently happening right now. Everything that has happened to me in my personal life with music and being on stage and being in radio and being a part of media and journalism for as long as it has been. I'll be 55 this year. For me, being 20 and being on stages and learning how to handle myself in rooms and being a part of corporate and all that, none of it is ever by accident. Just like where you currently are and where you are right now and where I am, me being obedient, I could be doing a whole lot of stuff. I could be waiting tables. I could be flipping burgers. I could be whatever. But I heard the call of what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you see what I mean? Correct, Jan B. I have been prepared. Yes. Each and every last one of us. Each and every last one of us. We are where we are supposed to be at every moment of our lives. But when I do not answer the call, guess what happens? The people that were supposed to see what they were supposed to see today and what they were supposed to hear would not have heard it. And I'm going to be 100 with each one of you. I follow some of y'all. I tried to lock up some Black people in your neighborhood. Tony said, what? Now, see, Tony, you can't say that and not give us some details. When did this happen, honey? See, remember, Tony is in Chicago. You came up on my For You page for the first time and you say, oh, Claudia. So here's my point in all of this, and it takes us back to what we originally talked about coming in here, and it's this. We are where we're supposed to be at every moment of our lives. It does not matter what it looks like, and it doesn't matter what it feels like. We are the collective consciousness. And what you also have to understand is this, is that just like we were created, so were they. So who's right or wrong? There is right and wrong. But you have to decide which part of the right and the wrong that you need to be on. Correct. We're all where we're supposed to be at a time and a season for such as this. Just like Brownstone Worldwide was designed for a time such as this. Y'all, Brownstone Worldwide, I built it in 2009. And I didn't know what in the hell I was doing. But it would literally wake me up at night. It would wake me up. I'm not telling y'all this to brag because it ain't easy. I'm telling you this because I need you to pay attention to where your position in this time, space, reality really is. We could talk about constitutions. We could talk about Antifa. We could talk about all the things. But there is a bigger lesson at play here. Where do we belong? On what side of history will we be? Because history is being made at this very moment. And I know I said we was going to talk about, PAC and Super PAC and all of that. We can get to that. I'll be back here tomorrow. It's providential. Wonderful. And here's the funny thing. Here's the hard part, Keishawn. You said I'm on the right side. I made my choice. Somebody on the other side said the same thing that you did one day. But we all must answer for what we did or we did not do, for the things that we have been prepared for. You said they were coming out of Jewel's, the grocery store, Tony, and got confronted. True, they thought they were Hispanic because of their skin color. Oh my God. See, that's that due process. That's that Fourth Amendment we're talking about that people aren't getting. We all have a purpose. Wonderful things happen when we figure it out. Yes, which is where I currently am. And y'all just here for the journey. I'm just being honest. You are watching my journey of me being obedient to all of the things that I have learned and have acquired and are a part of me through the years. Because just maybe a year and a half ago, I became comfortable enough to really be who I am and just walk in it and say, you know what, this is who I am and I'm just going to be okay with it. Purpose produces power. Come on, Tony. Tony's like the big brother I never had. That's good. That's good stuff. Purpose produces power. Yeah. Obedient and expand. I don't know what's happening, y'all. Like one day I had 5,000. No, I was like, well, I guess I go over here to TikTok. Because I was on Bigo, right? And Bigo was good, but Bigo started changing the rules. I was like, I'm gonna try TikTok. I didn't like TikTok. I didn't. I was like, I don't like it. It's not the same. You know, I didn't get the same engagement. The interaction wasn't the same. I came over here and I just started just doing what I do. And I was like, oh, well, everybody's dancing. Well, I'm gonna dance too. It was boring. And I kept building. I kept building the company. I kept building the company. Kept building. And then I said, okay, well, I guess I don't want to dance anymore. And then I got super sick and lost my hair, all that stuff. I shared my entire journey with that. Started gaining some followers from that. And then some of the people that were part of the Brownstone, you know, they made decisions. One of us passed away. I kept going. I said, it's something here. I don't know what it is. And I don't know why. I keep coming back to it, but I'm going to keep with it. And so I kept going. Kept going. And one day I went live and something had ticked me off so bad. And it was news and information. And that live blew up. And my homeboy was here. We were editing a film. And he said, you got that many people in that live? I was like, yeah. I kind of blew it off. He was like, girl, do it again tomorrow. I was like, I don't want to. I don't look right. Something I said, I forgot what it was because I had just lost my hair and it was just then growing back, right? And he was like, do it again. Just do it again. So I got up the next morning. I went live again. About that time, Kayshawn was coming in and some other people. Angie T, Carol Sue was popping in every once in a while. So I started sitting at the table and I would do the news. But right before then, I was going live at night around this time every single night. And I read Project 2025 from front to back. Right before the election. I read that sucker. Every night we would read a chapter. I don't care how long it was, we would read that sucker. I had cotton mouth sometimes. But I wanted you guys to know because I was angry because I was like, does not anybody see what's really going on? And this man is sitting here lying to y'all and saying that it doesn't exist. He doesn't know anything about it. But clearly, these people, I had literally just printed it. I couldn't believe how big that it's still back there in my office now. Yep. And then the election happened. And then January 19th, I'll never forget it. I was woken up out of this true story, y'all. This really happened. I was woken up out of a dead sleep. Now, mind you, I got laid off from my job 3 years ago, November 1st. So this was well before. And so I kind of, looking back on it now, I understand what was happening. I was not happy about it. I got laid off from my job. I'm a 4 a.m. girl. Yes. So I was woken up out of my sleep and I was like, I was already stressed the hell out because I'll never forget when it happened. I knew I went to bed early that night and I knew she lost. I knew it. I was like, this is not happening. This is not real. What is going on? And I woke up and I just knew and I just hung my head. But January 19th, in the dead of night, something woke me up. Yeah, no one believed me, but look, yep, same here. I knew it. I could just tell. It was something just was off. And I woke up and something says, you built the Brownstone for a time such as this. It was as clear as I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. And I talk about it often. And I was like, and I literally remember saying, okay. And I shook my head. And I was like, all right now. Y'all got me out here doing all this old stuff. If you're going to do this, you're going to have to provide. You're going to have to give me some provision. If I'm going to do this, I was like, you're going to have to show me what to do because I have no idea what's happening. Well, see, by that time I had just started. I took this sister's class. Her name is Kimberly Millionaire. Y'all hear me talk about her because I needed to bring in some revenue. If I was going to do this, yeah, I'll do the same with Project Esther. Sure. I needed to bring in some extra money. So I was driving Uber. What was it? Uber Eats? No, it was Uber Eats. No, DoorDash. It was DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash. I was taking calls on Hotel Planner to do whatever I needed to do to make the money to come in because my severance package was already up and my unemployment was already up. And I kept right on going. I was making money on Facebook Meta. You know, what was it? As a part of the creator program, we're making a bunch of money. You know, $300 there, $400 there, you know, calling the mortgage company. Here's my truth. I'm telling the truth. And hey, I'll pay it on such and such and such, you know, whatever. I had a little store. I was selling spices, doing whatever I could. Because I couldn't find a job. That was out. And I remember it's been March of this year. Because I was still call myself job hunting. March of this year, I had my last job interview. And I promised myself that if I didn't get the job, I was like, Lord, if I don't get the job. And it was picture freaking perfect. It was perfect. It was literally handwritten for me, you know. And I said, if I don't get this, then I'm done job hunting and I will be obedient. And I found out that I did not get the job and I have not job hunted since. That is a true story. So I said, okay, I gotta go all in. If I do this, I gotta do this for real. Well, by that time, Brownstone Living Magazine was about 2 years old. And so I went all in on the magazine. And then I went all in on becoming an influencer. And I went all in on, you know, making sure that I had enough money to pay my team and so forth, you know. And there was only 1 month where I was 2 weeks late on paying them. And that was the most painful 2 weeks. Oh my God. And she was so kind. She was like, I know I got bills to pay too, but I understand and if you, and I promised myself that no matter what it took, and I've never not paid them first because it's important to me. And I've had to kind of fall back on some things, you know, like, oh, okay, well, we can't focus on that right now. These are the most important things. And now we're starting to circle back like the podcasters and stuff like that. Right. Because Tony Sanchez is not the only one. We have other air personalities who are part of the Brownstone, who are internal neighbors. We call them a part of our founder circle. And I've just become okay with going live and doing this. And the reason why is, once again, because I think it is so important for you all to get this information. And it's infuriating to me, no matter if you're on the left or the right, that they have us bumping our heads like this. So there's a part of me that understands why I am where I am, because it is necessary for the greater good of the people. This ain't about me. So yeah, they'll call me, what was that thing that guy called me today? What was it? Something bitch, dirty bitch or something like that. I've been the N-word more times than I can remember. I've been a black wench. I've been this, I've been that. You're a liar, you're this, you're that. I've gotten inboxes. And I'm still going to give you the facts. I'm still going to give you the information. I'm still going to give you, and Bishop, that's the point. We're all neighbors here. Don't ask me why. It started to happen. I started to hear it. You just did, Bishop. You just did. How do you subscribe? You just did. You can go over to brownstoneworldwide.com and the window will pop up and you can subscribe to the newsletter. It's not easy. I'm gonna tell y'all now. But what I find to not be easy is to wake up and know that I didn't do my part. To wake up in the morning and know that I didn't open up the window of opportunity for other people Yeah, I did actually whole time, but it was like for my daughter's graduation or something. I forgot what it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was for mine, and we went to Memphis, and I stayed on Beale Street in Memphis. But yeah, it's important to me for me to continue to do what I do. I don't have all the answers. Sometimes I don't get it right. And people call me out. And when they do, I am appreciative and I come back and I correct because I'm human. Do I know how this is going to wind up? No, I don't. But what I know is that when I started doing this, I didn't have a studio. When I started doing this, I didn't know how these bills was going to get paid and how I was going to pay my little team. I had no idea. I had no idea. Now we do this full time. I accidentally was, and yeah, and so I'm grateful to you all who are still here, who are listening to this crazy woman talk and stuff, because I need you all to understand that we are all a part of this neighborhood. And I received that, Sugar Mama. I do. I'm just, you showed up at the friend and city block that you're giving next year. Yeah, so I'm doing a block party and I will be preparing additional information. So we're going to do a block party next year, have an opportunity for you all to come out. And it's not like a block party like you would think. It's going to be one with information and ways for you to edify yourself in ways, because we're going to need it. I don't think we've seen the last of this, and that's not a negative thing. I think that people need to be prepared. Number one, when you are not clear on what is happening in this country and around the world, ultimately, they can tell you anything. They can tell you that the sky is purple and you'll believe it if they tell you long enough. So now I know why I got that MBA in advertising and marketing, because I needed to understand the business of it and the psychology of it. I had no idea. Business ethics, you think that was by accident? No. Absolutely not. So when I say that we are all where we are supposed to be at every moment of our lives, I'm talking to myself. Y'all just happen to be in the room. Correct, Sugar Mama. And honey, when I tell you it ain't really started storming yet, we ain't seen none yet. We just talked tonight about who they cut, who they fired. And I've always say that. You know what, Lisa? I need to get one. You like the third person this week to say, you got a Patreon. I need it to make sense, right? So I'm going to start slow. We're going to get some merch first. Something like I'm a neighbor. I'm a part of the something. We're going to, I got the keys to the sun. We're going to come up with something really cool, right? To kind of help offset some of the costs. But doing the news and the research and stuff like that, it's not just me that does it. So, and I'm appreciative for the little team. Like I got one, and one is my son. He told me today, Mother, I'm not going anywhere today. I'm just going to finish doing all the edits. I was like, okay, cool. I appreciate you for that. So, but yeah, we have photo shoots that we do for the magazine. We got, y'all, I'm busy. I was so tired yesterday. I thought, oh my God. And I wanted to go live, but my body said, no, you're not going to be live today. And when I woke up, it was 10:30 in the morning today. And I said, nope, I'm not missing another live. I was fit to be tired because I had to go to the studio. I had to shoot 3. When I left, shoot 3 films, 3 edits. I had to do a podcast. Then I had to come back and do the news here. And then do the promotion. And I had a meeting with a potential advertiser and send them, the paperwork or whatever. And I thought, I'm too damn tired. I'm not even cooking. I know. And I went to bed. Next thing, it was 9:30 then. I know, Carol Sue, I saw that. They are telling us, JMB. Oh, SCP, you know what? And I love that because, see, here's the thing. Somebody said that I reminded them, and Kayshawn is so funny because Kayshawn started calling me this Auntie or AT. It's so funny because a friend of mine told me when I was doing the Sunday brunch, you're like the auntie everybody needs. Am I really? because I'll cuss you out. I will cuss your ass, slap out, and then get real professional, like Tyler Perry in a Madea movie. Be like, hello, how are you? Yes. And then I'll go back and I'll love on you some more. Because y'all, we need to understand what's happening. This is not, and we need to understand something else. They are not in their feelings with this. We are. Get out your damn feelings with all of this. You know what I mean? Get out your feelings. Somebody else called me the Oracle. And I said, now see, I'll take that. I will take the Oracle from what is it, the Matrix? Yes. I'll come in here and give everybody a cookie and tell you everything will be right as rain. Listen. But let me just keep it 100 with y'all. I will do my best with everybody that works with me to provide the news. I'm just the face. You know what I mean? I'm the personality. Okay? I get it. But I want y'all to know that if they can keep us confused with lack of information, then they got us. They got us. And here's something else. We must be informed more so now than ever. Because you notice he's not talking as much, but everybody else is. Because now they feel emboldened and embrazened and empowered to do so with poor information. And not only poor information, but the information that they don't want you to think that we need to know about. Like when we accidentally have a Freudian slip and tell the entire world about plenary authority. And think ain't nobody knowing what it is. That's number one. Good night, Claudia. Good to have you here today. Yes. And so now, like Carol said, he's sick and declining. But you see what I'm saying? Like, that was not an accident. We needed to hear you say that because that's what y'all believe. Because see, with him having quote unquote plenary authority, that gives y'all power. I'm about to say that, but all power, okay, I needed to say that, is not in your hands. Because we still the people. Right? Thank you, Bishop. Good to see you, sir. All power is right here because we still the people. SCP, so good to have you here. Y'all don't have me in here shouting. It's facts, though. We still the people. At the end of the day, we run this. And I don't want us to ever forget that. And I know that we ended up on a tangent, but whoever asked that question shouldn't have, and we wouldn't have ended up over here. But you need to know. You need to know. I might not always get it right, but I try to do right because it is right. And we just want people to be treated the same, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from. I don't know everybody's story. I don't need to know everybody's story. I just need us to know that we have to learn how to take care of one another. So before we wrap, and when I talk long, my head vibrates and my nose runs. Don't ask me why. But I need us to do a couple of things. One, here is your call to action for each day. Shop local. Get out these big box retailers. Let's share our different where is it at? Here we go. And see, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have this. Here's the apps you need to know about. Too Good to Go. Okay, that's number one. Too Good to Go. You started to garden again? Good for you. It's T-O-O. Beautiful, spelled it out, but it's T-O-O. Too Good to Go is an app. And larger cities really use it, but we've been able to use it here in South Atlanta as well. Buy your meat from farmers, yes. Find a flea market this weekend if you're off. I don't care if you got $3. Buy a candy bar from somebody. But start shopping local. Yes, Offer Up, the app. Look at that. Kayshawn uses them and getting her sandwiches. 5 Mile. Yes. Facebook Marketplace is phenomenal. I know some of y'all don't fool around with it, but OfferUp is an app where you can resell items and purchase items in your area. These are apps. No, Tori, and I'm gonna see what I can find. So we Black Farmers app. Let me write that down. Here's another one. One that we all have been using for some time. If you are not familiar with the Whatnot app, go check them out. Go check them out. Correct. Keishan said your local bodega. A lot of times, the Mexican bodega near me, they sell their own meat and stuff, and they have a butcher on site. You did, Jewel. Welcome to the neighborhood. Yeah, it's kind of like retail me not. Here's the resistance that we're talking about. Take your money out some of these big box stores. Take your money out. Now I know the lesson. The lesson in learning. One of the things that Black communities did during Jim Crow was we already had our own economy because we weren't really allowed to be a part of the larger economy. So we created our own. And it got so good that so many of these communities were circulating and recirculating that dollar within that everybody was well off. You follow? I'm not paying into a system that's going to take my own damn money and use it against me. Oh, local cartoons, word. Should we start making back eating canned goods? I do. Devon, I'm gonna have to check that out. So flea markets, farmers markets, marketplace online, Facebook, of course, because it tells you what's happening in your local area. It gets really granular. We got the Whatnot app. Whatnot. Too good to go. Some people have some concerns with Nextdoor depending on where you are, but the Nextdoor app in my community is pretty decent. But some people have talked about the safety of using it. But the Nextdoor app can be one depending on where you are. Goods unite us. Goods unite us. And another one is take back the system. Take back the system. Here's another way of resisting. Stand down. Yep. Secondhand store, consignment shops in your area. Find those discount grocery stores in your area that are locally owned and operated by people in the community that you are in. Yep. Take back the system. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you so much for typing that up and putting it in there. Yep. Harvest season is coming around, and don't be selling at a price like it's new. Yeah. Right. Sugar Baba said, eat at home. Yes. These are ways to resist peacefully. Seriously. Thank you for that, Bookish Black Boy Mom. I appreciate it. You follow where I'm going? Online. Yeah. So those online consignment stores, if you have not been to Whatnot, do not sleep. Whatnot. What was the other one? I just said OfferUp is a really good one. Whatnot. You make your own clothing brand, so I don't buy other brands. That's awesome. You follow where I'm going? Make your dollars make sense. And the only way that you're going to do that is you are going to start shopping with each other. Let's talk about them libraries. Listen, get the Libby app. Oh, look at the October. Oh, I should have screenshot. That's so cute. Thank you for that. ThredUp. Yes, ThredUp is another one. Let's talk about eBay. Don't leave eBay out. eBay is still here. And yeah, I'm even going to put this out here. If you have products, if your products are decent or whatever, here's something else you can do. I would use Amazon Marketplace and also Walmart Marketplace. Because it's still your product. You're just using their platform to get more eyeballs on your stuff. Poshmark is another one. Yes, Rosemary, there are some places where libraries can loan items, including laptop computers. Mercari is another one. Yes. Mercari put me out because I was selling Coach, my real Coach, and I accidentally put Coach on there. Girl, they put me out first time. Etsy, yep. So what I'm saying is all of these are places where each one of you can do business with one another. The Biblical Library, yes. All of these are online. We don't even have, we can create this place virtually, this neighborhood where you can walk down the virtual street. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Walk down your virtual street in the Brownstone community, and you can tap on that. And thank you for that. Your public library online, the Libby app. If you don't have the Libby app, most libraries have the Libby app, but another one is Canopy with a K. Excuse me, I'm getting sleepy. And Hoopla. So you also have Hoopla as well. Yes, and Whatnot, you can do that. The Whatnot app. Do not sleep on them. Hoopla and Canopy is another. PBS also has like $5.95 a month, and you get their movies and documentaries and stuff like that. Yeah. So there are things that you can do. I've started using my physical library a lot more. I booked it twice this week for my annual planning rather than booking a hotel. And I don't know why I didn't think of that. Because I usually book a hotel for a whole week. I saved what, was a couple hundred a day. Yeah. Yep. Y'all excuse me. All this talking. So yeah, that's the first thing. Yes, support your local PBS station. So you see what I'm saying? Everything local, everything local, everything local. And you're building your own library of paperback and hardback. Ooh, come on, beautiful. Show us some love. What's the site? So again, shop local, buy local, your food, your groceries, flea markets. So here's the thing. We proved that we could do it when it came to Hulu and with Disney in less than 4 days. We keep forgetting we the people. We did it with Target. A lot of us, black, white, whatever, we made a decision. We're not going back to Target. I was never a Target fan, but yeah. Your money is your power. Your money is your power in understanding what your rights are. That's why he said he loves the uneducated. We're not paying attention. We're looking for a rah-rah sis boom bob. We're looking for a WrestleMania. He's talking about putting a UFC fight on the White House lawn in June of 2026. What? And the scandal of the season when Obama was in office was a tan damn suit. And do with what you can with what you got. Yep, you're right. Exactly. And we need to start acting like we remember where the power really is. That's why I'm saying stand down. I know it's hard. Because right now they ain't in my community. They've been up the street, but they're not in my community. Stand down. The standing down and the quiet and the silence. See, there is a balance. Let's talk about this. When we have Malcolm X and we have Martin Luther King, they came together and they shook hands. Both were needed. There is not one that will be better than the other. They must be worked together, balanced. So if you're going to be in the streets and you're going to be marching, do that. But the same folks that's over here marching, we're going to be a part of this No More Kings on the quiet side. We're going to chill. And we're going to chill by closing our purses and our pocketbooks and our wallets. And they did, Bookish. Our silence and the amount of educating that we need to continue to do within our communities this way, virtually in the virtual brownstone, as people in the neighborhood, please understand that I'm on watch and so is my neighbor. And that goes for each and every one of you. You know something, teach something, show something, do something where you are, whether it be through a live or through some type of educational piece for 3 to 5 minutes, or if you want to share something in an inbox, or you want to share something with me and write about it on Brownstone. Listen, let's do it. Let's just keep it 100. This is how we're gonna combat this. And right now, all your tax dollars, all my tax dollars that I've been paying in the past, year and a half or so, this is the mess that is paying for it. No taxation without representation. Huh. Stand down. Yep, that's okay. Let me explain something to y'all. And I'm going to say it again until I'm blue in the face and until y'all tired of hearing me say it. You're going to hear me say it so much, you're going to repeat it yourself. Whatever begins, ends. Whatever begins, ends. Whatever begins, ends. We the people. Carol Sue says she marching. Correct. As above, so below. Whatever begins, ends. And please know this. All of those people that's getting paid with your tax dollars through ICE and all of them, their name is somewhere. And when this is over, everybody got to give an account. Like the old folks used to say, everybody got to give an account. That's why you got to do right, because it is right. Right? Come on, sugar mama. Oh, don't worry. I'm staying at home, Carol Sue, but I will continue to do this. I will continue to do this. I will continue to go live. I will continue to share the news and information. Y'all, we all need good information. And if you share something, do like everybody else does. Send it to me. If I miss it, because I got a million things going on like everybody else, but I'll be happy to stop and do the research because I love that. And y'all stand down and keep your money in your pocket and shop local. I bet if we do that for a little bit, I bet you they'll well, wait a minute, John, what's happening? Robert, where is everyone? I don't know. What's Christmas going to look like this year? What about the holidays? What about Halloween? Exactly. No taxation without representation, beautiful. I'm just saying. What were we talking about? I think this wine got to me. Yeah. We were talking about the layoffs and we was going to do all this stuff. And then we went down the rabbit hole. And then we do what we always do before we shut down. And we talk about what we should be doing in our communities. Chat is better than Robert. Listen, it's gone, beautiful. It's Stella. My daughter bought it. She was like, Mama, I'm going to get some wine. You want something? Yes. Put it right there. She always put a little ice in mine. If not, I wake up with a headache. Yeah. I hope this was helpful this evening. I feel better. Thank y'all for listening. You helped me to clarify some things, whether you know it or not. This was awesome. I needed that. Oh, Keisha said we were talking about the pack. Can we talk about that tomorrow? You have my word. I have to go to the studio tomorrow and I have to film on site. Thank you, Lois, and it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Farmers market, y'all find some farmers markets in Atlanta. You in Atlanta? Letha, have you ever been to Peachtree Peddlers over here in McDonough? Behind Sam's? If any of you all are in Atlanta, please go to Peachtree Peddlers. They are absolutely amazing. It's so many people out there doing stuff. It's ridiculous. And I think it's like $50. I got you. I'm going to be here because my phone tell me. Yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Yeah, I've been here since what, 9 o'clock? Child, I've been on here 3 hours. Let me get on somewhere. You're in Fulton? Come on down to the south side. So safe. Now, I do know that there's one at an old drive-in. I think it's in Fulton, Letha. I think so. But I know Peachtree Peddlers down here, baby. That's about 20 minutes from my house. You sent the message. Okay. It's 20 minutes from my house. Freaking amazing. Solar. Y'all, do me a favor. If anybody let's start a list. Send it to me. I'll compile the list over the weekend. Let's do that. You saving up your money? Girl, listen, I need to figure out where it's going to be. Are we barbecuing or what? It's probably, I'm going to be honest with you. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a good conference with things that we need to empower ourselves. Okay? Listen, you guys, it's time for us to say goodnight. So what do we say before we retire for the evening? 3 things that we always say before we end every single live. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life. It is the only one that you have. Wait a minute. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life because you only get one you. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. You guys, I will see you again tomorrow night. I ain't trying to be on here for 3 hours tomorrow, but see, that's what happens when you get a little tipsy. All right, we'll see you around, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine are currently available. We'll see you around. Bye.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.